Hugo's words echoed in my ears like a death sentence. He had just handed me a check for $15,000 after selling my $4 million farm behind my back. My own son, the person I trusted most, was kicking me out of my own home. But what he didn't know was that I had known his plans for a week, and I'd already taken measures that would leave him speechless. $15,000, I asked, managing a small smile he probably saw as resignation. Is that all I am worth to you after 40 years of building this place from nothing? Hugo just shrugged, a coldness in his eyes that pierced right through my heart. Mom, let's be realistic. You're too old to manage such a big farm. I sold the property for $4 million. I've already invested the money into a business that will double our profits. This is your share, so you can live comfortably somewhere else. He slid some papers across the table, and I could see a forged signature that was supposed to be mine. What Hugo didn't know was that Matthias, my younger son, had come to see me the week before, trembling with rage. Mom, he'd said, his voice low, I overheard Hugo on the phone with a lawyer. They're planning to forge your signature and sell the farm. He said he already has a buyer and that you're too senile to notice. My youngest son had risked everything, including his relationship with his brother, just to save me, and thanks to him, I was prepared. For 40 years, I had poured my life into this farm. I arrived here as a young widow with 2 small children and only $100 to my name. I worked 80-hour days, my hands covered in calluses, but I never, ever gave up. That land wasn't just dirt and crops. It was my soul materialized into $4 million of honest work. Hugo was always different. Even as a boy, he'd ask when the farm would be his. I paid for his university education, his first car, and bailed him out of one failed business after another, always believing he would eventually value my sacrifice. But he only saw an old woman standing between him and his inheritance. Mom, just accept it, he said now, putting the fake documents back into his briefcase. The buyer has already paid. There's no turning back. I stood up slowly, feeling a strength I hadn't felt in years. Okay, Hugo, I said calmly. I accept, but before I leave, I want us to have dinner together one last time, as a farewell. He smiled, clearly believing he had broken my will. Of course, Mom. I'll book the finest restaurant. What Hugo didn't know was that dinner would be the stage where his entire world would crumble. That night, sleep was impossible. At the crack of dawn, I called Sophia, my trusted lawyer. Maribel, get to my office immediately, she said. When I arrived, Sophia's face was grim. I investigated the documents. Hugo presented the forged papers to the land registry. Officially, the farm is no longer yours. My heart sank into my stomach. But, Sophia continued, a smile spreading across her face, what Hugo doesn't know is that last week, when you came to see me, we took preventive measures. You transferred the farm to an irrevocable trust. You are the sole beneficiary for life. Any fraudulent sale is automatically void. Tears of relief streamed down my cheeks. There's more, she added. The hidden cameras we installed recorded him handing you that fake check. We have evidence of his criminal intent, I asked, my voice shaking. Sophia smirked. That is Hugo's problem. He sold something he didn't own. When the buyer demands his $4 million back, Hugo will have to explain where it all went. That night, I called Matthias. Come to the restaurant tomorrow, but don't tell Hugo. I need you there as a witness. The next evening, I put on my best red dress and my late husband's pearl earrings. If Hugo wanted a farewell dinner, I was going to give him one he would never, ever forget. At the restaurant, Hugo was already waiting. You look beautiful, Mom, he said, pouring a glass of expensive wine. 2 new beginnings, I replied, raising my glass. After a few sips of wine and some small talk, his tone turned all business. Mom, the buyer wants to take possession next week. You need to pack your things and be out by Friday? And Hugo, if the farm was worth $4 million, where is the rest of the money? I invested it in a tech company, he explained with a tone of forced patience. In 5 years, it'll be worth $20 million. And what if I don't want to rest? I asked softly. What if I want to keep working my land? Hugo sighed dramatically. Mom, you signed the papers. He pulled out the forged documents again. You're starting to have memory problems. That's why I'm doing this. To protect you. It was Sophia Letters. Who is this? Hugo asked, his face a mask of confusion. In Techno-Latino Solutions, Sophia asked. That company doesn't exist either. So, Hugo, where is the money really? Just then, Matthias approached our table. "Hugo," he said, his voice tense. "The bank has frozen all of your accounts." Hugo looked at his brother, pure betrayal in his eyes. "You? Why? Because you were robbing our mother?" Matthias replied, standing his ground. Hugo finally broke down. "Cryptocurrency," I repeated, completely incredulous. "You gambled $4 million. I invested in some new coins. The market completely collapsed last week. There's only $300,000 left." A heavy silence fell over the table. $4 million. My life's work. Gone in a week. Please don't send me to jail. That is not my responsibility." "Hugo," I said coldly, "you made your choice." Sophia laid out the options. "We can file a lawsuit, which you will certainly lose. Or we can negotiate a settlement right here, right now." "Please, Mom," Hugo begged. "I'll do anything." "Fine. Here is the deal. You will return the remaining $300,000 immediately, and you will work on my farm without a salary for 1 year. As a laborer, no privileges, no special treatment." "I won't fail you, Mom. I promise." The next morning at 4:30 a.m., Hugo was there. His hands, so used to holding pens and smartphones, blistered within hours. His back ached constantly. One day, while we were pruning coffee plants, he asked, "Mom, will you ever forgive me?" "Forgiveness is built, Hugo. It's not just given." He nodded slowly. "I understand. I just want you to know, I finally understand what you built here. It's not just about money. It's your life." At the 6-month mark, Sophia told me that Hugo had recovered another $800,000 by selling his assets and helping authorities track down the crypto scammers. He was cooperating fully. One evening, Matthias asked him, "So, how does it feel?" "Tiring," Hugo admitted with a weary smile. "But it's honest." A year passed. On the anniversary of that fateful dinner, I woke up early. Hugo was already outside, working. He was tanned, strong, and he looked humble. "Good morning, Mom," he said. "Today is the day." Maribel, he's fulfilled every single condition. He's worked for free for 12 months. He has changed. I sat Hugo down. "Hugo, a year ago you betrayed me. You tried to take everything I had ever built. But this year, you've shown me the man you can be. You've learned respect, humility, and the value of hard work." He looked down, ashamed to meet my eyes. "Mom," he cried, tears welling in his eyes. "We all deserve second chances, Hugo, if we're willing to work for them," I said, extending my hand. He took it. My son had lost millions of my money, but in doing so, he had found something far more valuable, his soul. And I had regained my family. The farm that was once the scene of my greatest betrayal was now the witness to my greatest victory. Some betrayals destroy you, but others, if you handle them with strength and clear boundaries, can be the foundation for a true transformation. I am Maribel, and for the first time, in a long time, I slept with a smile, knowing the future was full of hope. Thank you so much for listening to my story. If you've ever faced a betrayal, know that you have the strength to overcome it. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories of resilience and hope.